Steel and Stormbright, The Curse of the Star Wraiths, an exciting sword and sorcery adventure about two brothers trying to make their way in a harsh world. Link in the description. Greetings, salutations, and other big words. My name's Ethan. My handle is Wrangler. Welcome to Frequency Studios. Weekly Wing It number 76 here on Rumble and YouTube. And starting off with us tonight is that Kapla dropping Mugwai, Billy Bobsack.
Do I look like a fucking Mogwai right now? Kaplow!
Nope, but you will always be a Mugwai to us. Next up, we got... What was that, Maji?
I can't tell what he is.
What the fuck? It's a dog.
It's
okay, I see
sure.
now.
It's the pup of darkness.
It's a hellhound, you know, right after it's been weaned from its mother.
It's a bizarre reference.
Gotcha. How's my
All
mic
right.
coming through? Or do I need to go get it?
No, you're sounding good.
Okay, good. I was working on the book up until it was time to start, and I realized I was late, so sorry.
Hey, glad you could hop in because I know your schedule's been keeping you away quite a bit. Now, Frederick.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
You got your website you want to talk about tonight.
Yeah, so I just dropped my website I was working on for a couple of weeks. So imakecomics.com will take you there, and you can see a little bit of the art that I've been working on for the Rattel comic. And there's a few links to interviews and other fun stuff.
Yeah, Billy Bobsack. Do we have a way to pin that when you drop the link in the comments? Can you pin that?
Yeah.
There should be a way for us to pin those things, but I don't know how yet.
Favorite.
Yeah, well, we'll probably drop it another time or two as we chat tonight. All right, yeah. So his site is now live, and you can see more than just a promo picture. He's got tabs that do stuff.
Yeah, there's actual sections. And I've got an interesting section that I think is kind of innovative for comic artists, because I made a sort of page filled with the progress. So I got progress bars for the drawings, the inking, the colors, and all that. So you can come and follow where I'm at in the stage of production of the comic on day to day.
Sweet. And up next, we got Maji-chan. Maji!
Hey!
With the working mic.
Like I said, I'm sorry. I just realized what time it was. I'm like, I'm off. I gotta join.
Yeah, well, we're all a little off here. Speaking of which, Raven Nevermore, what's up, man?
Hey, I just finished an article this last weekend, got it posted on Saturday. As compared to the other article that I was going to post and decided that might be a topic that I need to leave off. And then an incident happened in Sweden, and there was somebody reporting from Sweden that talked about a whole lot more other stuff that now I need to go and include that stuff in the article, and then I will post it.
Gotcha. And where are these articles posted again? Is it your Substack?
I've got them on Minds and Substack and Locals. All
right. And next up, we got Readout. And you want to show us that avatar you were sporting a little bit ago?
Behold! The rebrand is complete. Not on the main channel, but on my podcast channel. What was once the Heterochromedia podcast is now the Fubar Digital Lounge. And there's already a video up there with the rebrand. It's not the greatest video in the world. It was right before my throat went to crap. So you can go over to the Fubar Digital Lounge and you can listen to me give my crappy thoughts on this. Hyped, highly anticipated, so hyped, so much great movies coming out, so much stuff. I'm running to the cinema right now.
Dude, he is spending all his money on the Acolyte show, the merchandise for it, you know.
Yeah, well, over in the chat, RH Snow got in there first. She beat me in here tonight. I came in and she'd already posted. So, welcome, RH Snow.
Hey, all right. How's it going?
Raven Nevermore was trying to find his way in. I forgot to go put the link over there. Sorry about that, Raven. Animation Overload has joined us, as well as The Hedge. He says RH Snow is first because she's famous. And King Bob looks like a hellhound on a stick. And nice Nyong'o. What's in Nyong'o? Or is that a Berserk reference? Or
No. I have no clue.
I think it may
well,
be the dog.
well, Herman said something awesome here. He said steak and baked potato tonight.
Ooh.
And he also said something else awesome. He said King Bob. Evely. See. Who now? I did. Food Bar Lounge. Love it. Evely's a fan of the rebrand.
Yeah, and it's a nice logo.
It really is. Makes me want to grab a beer and I don't even drink. Not out of any moral superiority. I got enough vices. I just thankfully wasn't interested. Evely is water drunk. King Bob says Nyong'o is Japanese for Japanese. Okay.
Well,
Okay.
did you know katana means Japanese sword in Japanese?
What was that episode
No,
of House
remember
where
that
the
movie?
guy was sick from Brazil nuts, but they couldn't figure that out because he was in Brazil, where they don't call them Brazil nuts; they only call them Brazil nuts outside of Brazil, and it was some weird thing that just made things unnecessarily convoluted for them to solve the case.
There's your comic, Frederick. Website.
Yeah, there it is. So if you go to the sample section, you got the 3 covers and a few of a couple of pages. Page 1 in pencil and I believe page 4 as well.
Oh shit, I can't zoom it out.
That one I just
Oh my
finished
God.
inking
Yeah,
yesterday.
Yeah, can you go back one page? Because there's something, right there, Rattel's face where he's got the busted mask. We were watching Frederick work on that live on stream for a while.
Yeah,
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Most of these I've worked on in one way or the other on here.
Man, you don't have a zoom out feature.
Nicely colored.
Thank you.
Yeah, but that's kind of cool to see because I remember just a couple weeks ago we saw that like half drawn, you weren't even fully done with the lines yet.
Yep, it's moving along nice and slow.
Yeah, so, oh, nice. You got the whole progress bars for what you're getting done.
Yeah, so basically I could just update the number in the code and it'll give you a progress bar equivalent to where I'm at. I figured it was a nice way of keeping people updated.
Now, is there a way to start supporting this yet or not yet?
Not yet. That's the next step I'm working on. So I wanted to get the site out there so I can then start building the campaigns and link back to that. So one piece at a time, I'm working towards that.
This
All right,
going
you
to
gotta
be
read
this.
that, Frederick.
Say again?
You gotta read that.
I have to read that?
Yes.
Okay, I can read that. Hold on. There's a lot of shine where I'm at. Let me just turn that. There we go. Rattel is an independent superhero comic book project. It was created by myself, Frédéric Guimont, in early 2023 And the first issue of the comic series will be coming out in 2024. The launch date will be announced when the artwork nears the end of production. Stay updated on the development with our up to date progress page. I will be updating the numbers on that page as the work is completed. The comic will be available for pre-order shortly through crowdfunding on Fund My Comic as well as on Geyser. So Geyser is a crowdfunding page geared to Bitcoiners. The marketing campaign is being worked on at the moment and will be announced once everything is ready to go. Updates will be announced on the site as well as on a mailing list. Join today to be the first in line for certain perk. Oh, so I need an S on perks. But there you go.
Also, next time you do this, you need to do it as Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah.
No. As Hornswoggle.
No,
I don't know who that is.
no.
For the best.
We'll go with Randy.
All right, here we go.
So that
Now
must be
keep
pretty
this
exciting.
about
Is
getting
like
it done.
you're starting to see that the light at the end of the tunnel there, aren't you?
Hardly. It feels like, well, what I was just penciling, it seemed like a tunnel focus. Like I could do one page after the other, but now I'm sort of getting the campaign ready. It feels kind of a little bit of a eye of the storm, a little bit of chaos. I have to juggle a few things at the same time, but it is really exciting for sure.
So the Digital Lounge has really good sandwiches, Readout?
Oh, I wish. We can't cook for shit. But there's some pretty good. There's a few sport bars in the area that they were talking in the chat about the Stanley Cup Finals, and it may give me an excuse to head to this one tavern a bit more often.
Give me
Got
a
some really
frying
good
pan, an oven, and a shit ton of butter, and I'll cook.
Fair enough. Butter makes everything better.
That's right. That's really the only reason to watch now. At first, I thought he was saying your channel is the only reason to watch.
Well, butter also makes heart attacks better. You know, at least you died happy.
That's right.
That's one way of looking at it, Billy. That's one way of looking at it.
Man. What the fuck has been going on? In entertainment, Readout. You're the one who's keeping up with it.
Yes, the man that lives in any time before hours knows what's going on.
Well, I can tell you one thing: that stupid Tiano's Bayou Adventure, which actually looks like a giant butthole if you look at it. No, it does. Seriously, pull up pictures of the outside of it, and it looks like Tafiti's butthole. But anyway.
I didn't examine it in detail. Okay.
But anyway, so it's supposed
that was
to
a
be
gratuitous
opening up
description.
in a week or so, and I've already seen on the Park Copper channel, which is Drunk 3PO's channel.
Oh yeah.
It broke down during previews. There was even a fire alarm during one of the tours.
So,
is
this Star Wars Hotel 2.0?
I
Is
don't.
this Black Cruise 2.0?
What I find funny is, okay, so the whole the reason, quote unquote, they got rid of Splash Mountain in the first place was because it kept breaking down. But it looks like they didn't even address any of the problems with the track that caused it to break down in the first place. So they just spent millions of dollars gutting it out for no reason.
So they just reskinned
a
bad track.
Pretty much. But no, seriously, I'm half tempted to pull up a picture so you guys can see it. It literally looks like a butthole.
I'm morbidly interested now. Morbidly interested.
Yeah. What's this thing called again?
Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Well, it used to be Splash Mountain, which actually looked like a mountain with a briar patch and you're falling into the thorns. But, yeah, no, it literally looks like you're being shit out of butthole. A green butthole.
So it's a Grinch mountain.
I more think it's like the green giant taking a shit from eating too much of his product.
Like I
It
said,
doesn't
drink-
help.
I'll
you're
be
on the
heading
block.
down the butthole when she comes.
I probably shouldn't be saying that, but I've even heard it called Tiana's Bohiny Adventure.
Oh no!
Wow.
Oh no!
All right,
See,
what am I
because
looking for?
You're looking for a picture of the front, like
The front
Dead on
of
front.
the attraction, or
yeah. It does not look good.
would this be it?
That's the side.
That's the side of the butthole. We need to see.
No, so we're looking for the butthole, but we found side boob.
Yeah, you found side cheek.
What about this one?
That was what it was supposed to look like. That's not what it looks like. You can see it though in the
Wow.
look, can't you?
No, I'm
Yeah.
not seeing it yet.
wait, why did they pick specifically fucking Tiana from Princess and the Frog?
Because it's Disney.
Yeah, but there ain't fucking mountains in Louisiana.
Oh,
There it
on
is.
the right.
Even with the scaffolding, you can see it. Over.
Oh,
Go to the
there.
one at the far end.
That one clear. Enhance. Enhance.
See the full ride, you got the butt.
Enhance!
Looks like a straight shot down.
Hello.
Yeah, but the Princess and the Frog still doesn't make sense when they pick that one.
I know. What doesn't make sense is
They're in the
I've
fucking
been
bayou.
There is no mountains in the south. Why is there a mountain in the middle of the bayou?
Well, there's
There, you
mountains
can
in
see
the
it there
south,
on
but
that
there's not
second
mountains in fucking Louisiana.
Oh yeah. Now I see it.
What you see cannot be unseen.
Oh, you should see it with
Oh,
water
this is
and
the Martin Luther
scaffolding
King
on.
Jr. statue all over again.
Tiana's Foods
no.
right next to it.
Oh no! I don't need to think of that, Billy.
You know, these woke assholes really don't understand that they keep making like the dumbest fucking
Well, they
shit.
literally made an asshole.
Me Grimlock kick butt.
I like that
Well,
the barrel is labeled.
I'm
Tiana's
surprised
Foods.
there. Monty, I knew you'd laugh at that. I didn't expect anyone else to. Raven joined in.
Sorry.
I figured you were the only one that would understand the reference.
Good thing
Oh,
they
I
didn't
don't.
dye the water brown.
No, they did. They did. The water is brown because they wanted
Oh.
to hide all the
No.
track stuff and make it look like
Oh.
this swamp.
What do you mean? No. Oh
No.
God.
Okay, Wrangler, you need to find a picture of the completed project.
So it's diarrhea that you're okay.
Yeah.
This is the highbrow stuff we discuss here on this show. Let's see what's happening over in the chat. I'm sure there's probably a little more sanity there. Let's see. Now, Emily said a little bit earlier, his cousin's a mid-tier chef, and the amount of butter they put in the food is staggering. That sounds awesome, actually. Stagger me with that butter, please. Butter and bacon. Heading down the okay. Imaji repeatedly saying butthole wasn't something I was expecting tonight.
Sorry.
It's the butt side we need.
We're only
The black
19
hole.
minutes in.
The black hole. Mermaid had wiener towers. This tracks.
Oh goodness.
Well, we corrupted the chat, or did the chat corrupt us? It's kind of both.
Yeah, it's you ever see that sketch of two hands penciling each other into existence?
Oh yeah.
Yes, that's
That's us in the chat.
co-creating our dementia.
See, what's funny is these concept art looks way better than what it actually is. Even this looks better than what it actually looks like.
That was the Galactic Star Cruise as well, until you realize you're being shunted off to a warehouse in a freaking box truck.
No.
Oh, yeah.
And you spent your life's fortune for that.
Well, King Bob says there is no chat, only Zool.
King Bob knows what's up.
Bob!
All right, let's find something else to talk about other than Disney and buttholes.
Well, you gotta admit though, that's funny as hell.
It is
Straight up
funny.
It really is.
Iconic rides for a giant butthole. The black hole.
I think
Which
Alex
Which was a
Jones-
Disney movie. Now, the Black Hole was a Disney movie. What was it, 78, 79?
Yeah,
Something like that.
Yeah.
that's one I've gone back and watched a couple times.
What was the
that-
name of the little robot dude?
Okay, so that was the one with the little robot. I remember there was one that had like an R5 unit or something in it. and-
Well, it's not the only movie with a little robot. I mean, like, Space Camp had Jenks.
Man, Space Camp. That's one I haven't heard of in a very
Another
long
time
time.
there.
That's what I'm here for, to remind you of shit that everyone loved but everyone forgot existed. Like the song We're the Kids in America. You're welcome.
We didn't get that one in Canada.
Whoa. Yeah, and Wall-E, the little robot, was the movie.
Yep.
Star or Vincent, I think, was the name. What? You know what? We're all on computers. Why can't I just look this shit up?
Yeah.
Do you guys remember before Google when we actually had to listen to the most confident person in the group whenever we didn't know what the answer to a question
Oh,
was?
I remember the internet yellow pages.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me too. Or remember when we just had to use this kind of crap right here?
Oh yeah, that too. Oh, my sister pasted a video today on in our family chat about some gals asking about, before we had cell phones, what would you do if your car broke down or you got in an accident? And this lady went
You
through this whole
prayed.
view of, yeah, either A, you already knew the way to get there and stuff, and then if you got stuck somewhere, either A, you had to wait for somebody else to find out, or, walk yourself down to the corner store and make a phone call,
People were more helpful back then as well.
Oh, yeah. Nobody quotes the black hole.
Vincent, V period, I period, N period, and then CENT.
Huh, that seems familiar for some reason.
Oops. Once I find the right button. There we go. That's him.
Oh, yeah,
What
that
are we looking
one.
at?
This is Vincent from the Black Hole.
Yeah.
All right. Vital information necessary centralized.
So what was the one that with the robot that looked like an R5, instead of being an R2D2 unit, it was like an R5 unit or something?
What now? I don't know what an R5 unit looks like.
It's the red one, the one that explodes at the
Yeah.
beginning. Uncle Owen, he's got a bad motivator. It's literally the line.
Oh, that's not ringing a bell for me.
All right, let me bring it up.
I think it has similar colors or shape to the one that's in the Star. Let's see, what was the cartoon series? Star Wars Rogue something.
Rogue Squadron or something like that.
Oh,
No, it was the cartoon with the smuggler
Here's
and
R5.
the Jedi. Yeah, there you go. That one.
Are you talking about Rebels?
Rebels?
Rebels, that was the one.
I don't know what it looked like in Rebels, to be honest. I don't remember.
I don't
Well,
know.
the-
I never watched Rebels.
The R5 unit
It's
from Rebels is actually the one that showed up in the movie where they go down to the planet and get the stuff and they all die. I can't remember the name of Star Wars movies anymore.
Sorry, I didn't realize you had that going on over there.
The what?
There we go.
Are you asking me what an R5 is?
Yeah, I came back over and I hit buttons, and then I realized last second you already had something up. Oh, okay. From
Yeah, from the first movie.
yeah, I know I've seen it before. I just don't remember which movie I saw it in. They all kind of blend together in my head.
It's
It's the one that literally blows up, and that's when they get R2, V2
Yeah.
from the Jawas.
Okay, from the first movie in the prequel.
No, the actual
No, the original first
Star Wars
three.
movie.
Or
A
I guess
New Hope?
technically the original first. Yeah, New Hope.
Now there is R5 in Phantom Menace. One of the ones that gets blown the fuck up on the.
That's Jinx from Space Camp. All right, King Bob said the black hole. Nobody quotes the black hole. Name that reference. Honestly, King Bob, you got me stumped with that one. The Everly Music says, I got my science project per Hedges' recommendation. Haven't watched it yet, though.
Oh, Maximilian sounds familiar. That may be it.
I hear when I hear Maximilian, I think of Mighty Max.
Oh, did I put it in here? Did I put it in here?
I'm gonna laugh if you have a Mighty Max clip.
I do. I just don't know if I put it in here.
I just revealed my age.
What are we looking for? Dead Space.
There's
Dead
Jinx.
Space. What do you mean?
Oh, Maximilian was the death robot from Black Hole.
Mm.
What was this discussion about?
I
Just
don't
for
know.
robots
Actually,
in movies.
we have a point.
Really, really obscure robots from forgotten movies.
I still like Bernie from Wall-E. He's just too cute.
Well, since we're gonna bring him up, all right.
Which one was
Well,
that?
we're talking robots. Bernie's the little scrubber robot that's following Wally around on the ship, trying to clean his
Oh.
tracks or his treads.
We might as
No,
we might as
no,
well
his
bring
name's
up
not Bernie. I think his name's just Mo.
Oh, Mo, yeah, Bernie's the torch guy in the short film.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Bow. That's all he says in the whole movie is bow.
Now
Mama,
we're gonna
mama.
bring up HP 47. Since we're bringing up robots now.
Which one is he in?
Knights of the Old Republic game.
Oh, okay.
He's an assassin robot.
I like the
See,
sarcastic one from Rogue One.
The one that was in the Han Solo movie, I really hated because for the Han Solo movie, I really
Are you
wish
talking about the SJW one? I know who you're talking about.
I don't know what its name was. It was
Yeah,
dumb and stupid.
L
It's,
something.
Isn't it the same chick who played Indiana Jones?
It's, Phoebe Waller-Bridge is the one
yeah,
that voiced her.
yeah.
I wish they actually would have gone back to the original Han Solo trilogy and used, I think his name was Bollux or something. It was actually two different droids because one of them was like a,
This one,
yeah.
L337, this fucking SJW robot that was in Rogue One. Or
Yeah.
Solo, whatever.
Um,
I don't remember that robot.
from-
Granted, I tried to get that movie out of my
Well,
head after I saw it.
From the book
So
series.
the funniest scene in the movie is I love when the fucking robot dies It was hilarious.
Yeah, but then they like incursed it into the actual Millennium Falcon, and it becomes
Yeah.
part of the computer. So it
But here's the
retroactively
thing.
makes her a part of all the Star Wars movies after that.
Yeah, I really wish
Well,
they
that's
would
what
have
we
Wait,
used.
so
started
nobody
robot.
acknowledges the Solo movie, so I think we're okay.
Yeah, good point.
He's pansexual, guys. He fucks anything. They had this stupid fucking romance between these two characters.
And
What?
Han Solo isn't even the main character in the movie. It's his girlfriend that does all the actions in the movie that advance the plot. They're taken by her.
Yeah,
I
here,
don't
snaggle
remember this. I remember seeing it and being disgusted with it, but I can't remember any of the plot. Probably for the good.
Bullocks. The BLX-5 is the one from the actual Han Solo book trilogy, and it's like an interpreter
name
droid.
again.
BLX-5. Should be on Wikipedia. Yeah, there you go. And so he's not. He's the distraction, so the people will ignore him. What the important droid is, inside of him, he has a secondary droid, which is like a supercomputer, which is the hacker droid.
Oh, you found Matt.
That didn't interrupt. Oh, shoot.
Or Mighty Max.
Sorry, I did not mean to put that up there. There you go. That was a mistake. My bad.
Looks like he has a printer in his fucking chest.
Yeah, I
Look,
don't
it's an
think I.
old school
That
telephone.
just
camera.
reminded me of when Family Guy did their Star Wars bits
See,
with Quagmire as C-3PO. Does that Matrix printer over there look clean to you?
Yeah, so I don't know. I think these were drawn up afterwards or something, because the book simply described him, and so the
Well, it's
hacker.
fan drawings.
Yeah, the hacker droid is that little square box in that particular picture, with the red light on top, and that's
Yeah, it
probably
looks
more
like
accurate.
an old school telephone with a camera on the end.
No. In the other one that you showed, it's literally a cube. Yeah, that one there.
Oh shit!
Animation Overload says Johnny 5. I totally
Yeah.
think Johnny could kick the Terminator's ass.
Johnny 5 is alive.
Who would be the better robots? Terminator, Transformers, Johnny 5?
Transformers,
Transformers,
is a fucking
big
car,
time.
Machi.
Yeah,
It's
it's,
super small.
yeah, they're a whole nother tier.
Jesus Christ!
But
Oh,
I
no,
do,
just
I
take a
do
base-
think
Hey,
Johnny
what- hey,
5.
what will
I do
win?
think
What will
Johnny
win?
5 could take down
Old
the
Yeller?
Terminator.
Old Yeller or Big Giant Grizzly Bear?
He would need a good plot armor, though.
Well, no, we could take a standard little Transformer, like a Micron. It wouldn't be too hard.
So you want to put Rumble up against the Terminator?
Yeah, wouldn't that be
I-
cool?
Rumble would kick his ass with or without
I
the
know.
pile drivers.
If you get one of those Gen 2 Terminator 2 liquid guys, Rumble would get his ass
I'm
kicked.
talking a T800. No, the T1000, Rumble would eventually he'd have to fall back. But he could tussle with it for a bit, but he doesn't have a way to put it down necessarily.
Don't Transformers have like cryo fucking weapons and shit?
But that's not what part of Rumble's usual equipment. His equipment is he's got a blaster. He's got seismic abilities.
Remember,
And-
Starscream lost to a freaking pony.
I saw that. I knew the only way they would bother. I knew that was going to be the outcome. They wouldn't bother to do that episode if Starscream was going to win.
Are you wanting to get like killed, King Bob? Is he referring to the movie or the books?
He's probably, well, considering the fact the movie was a single and he says trilogy, my guess is the books.
Okay. What to say? That movie was shit. It's really bad.
The only reason why I know that is because he says trilogy. I don't know anything
yeah.
about the...
Yeah, there was there was the Skywalker trilogy, the Han Solo trilogy, and the Calrissian trilogy, and they were like the three original books that were written, or the three original trilogies that were written about Star Wars. And then you also have oh gosh, what was the one that was in there between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back before they knew whether or not it was going to take off or not? And so they had Luke and Leia off on some
Mission to Ord Mantell.
Oh, he
Yes.
banged his sister. That's what you're saying.
I listened to Raven. I listened to an audio tape version of that when I was a kid. I had the cassette tape reading of that adventure.
Oh, cool. That I've not heard, but I was able to read the book. And yeah, it's kind of in there in between, and it's kind of a placeholder because they weren't sure if the movie was actually going to take off or not. And so if it didn't take off, they were going to use that instead to kind of end it.
So you're saying Luke banged his sister.
I don't know that it actually says that they did, but it gets fairly close.
Anyways.
If the Terminators send every last unit back in time,
Ooh.
then maybe.
Yeah, but the Skynet would be so retarded that they would send everyone back to back in time to go to what was the name of the fucking planet?
They wouldn't
Cybertron.
have to. They wouldn't even have to go to Cybertron if you follow the Beastward universe because they ended up frozen in time for thousands of years on Earth.
I don't care how much Skynet sends back in time to deal with the Transformers. As soon as they get to Grimlock and the Dinobots, they're done.
But how do you know?
I don't.
We should
But-
do a super nerd.
Well, actually, yes, I can scale. I can scale this. Hang on. Unicron had an entire moon detonated inside of him, not even a dent. And then Grimlock and the Dinobots literally ripped open his ass.
They did?
They tore him a new asshole, and it's not even hyperbolic. They did.
Yeah, but Skynet has time travel.
Yeah, but me, Grimlock, kick butt. Why don't I have that for a clip?
And Sarah Connor.
Right?
Well, if they go back further in time, though, the Dinobots were only existed because the Autobots built them. So if they go back far enough, the Dinobots aren't in existence.
Yeah, but then they have to deal with the Maximals.
Which are their size and their scale.
But far more advanced.
So do they get to the end of the end of time and then they go back to the very beginning of time in order to create themselves at the beginning?
Yeah, it kind of turns into one of those repeating loops.
Well, technically, Primus is Cybertron. So,
All Frederick is thinking right now, nerd.
Well, no, I grew up with that stuff. I love the Transformers.
You weren't talking, bitch. Shut up.
King Bob says, yeah, Wrangler, you should have 20 clips from that movie. Yeah, I especially should have the me Grimlock kick butt.
you
Well,
should
or-
just
or-
have the-
Or
you should-
Starscream dumping Megatron out of Astro Chain going, wanna bet?
I'm surprised you do not have a clip of literally Dinobot eating ass. Because he really does. If for those not familiar with the with the '80s movie, that freaking Grimlock lands on him and literally bites a chunk out of his ass.
That was the me Grimlock kick butt.
I got a question for you, Maji.
But
Have you been charged yet?
charged with what?
The murderer of Tim Allen.
I've noticed a lack of mead lately.
Yeah, she also gave him a heart attack. She admitted it on stream. You know.
I didn't mean to.
What'd you do? Unleash your power-ups?
No, she helped him with her cock. Yeah.
Colt, I finally am able to say it right.
There's an L in there somewhere, right?
Tim Allen died a happy man. That's all I'm saying.
I hope he's okay. I haven't heard from him since then.
You were
Oh yeah, animation. That is completely possible. The the Terminators would have weapons capable of harming the Cybertronians, but they can do a little damage, but I don't see them getting too far. I mean, for one thing, the Cybertronians, they're alive. They got imagination that Skynet doesn't have. Skynet is
Except
very
for-
much stuck in the logical. Yeah,
Here's the thing.
except for the weirder ones later on where things get, I don't know.
Well, no, Cybertron's reliant on Energon. Terminators are not.
Yeah, but I mean, they still need power of some form.
But they never revealed what it is.
Yeah, it is. The power core in their chest. Remember, Arnie had to pull one of those that was damaged and toss it before it went boom inside him?
Oh, that's right. He is a ticking time
That
bomb.
was in
whereas-
Terminator 2. But
But they seem to be easily makeable and replaceable.
That is true.
yeah. They can. They're good. The Skynet's going to have superior numbers. But I don't see
Well,
them
that's not-
holding out against the Cybertronians' better tech, and they're
Yeah,
just
but
as durable, if not more. I mean, they're more so.
Yeah,
Maybe
but here's the
battery
problem you're
technology
getting
was
to.
not
They have
good.
superior numbers and they can take down quite a bit of them and then research their technology and then start incorporating it in their own.
King Bob says the annoying replicators from SG1 would be a major contender. He's pretty
Oh
right.
yeah,
You know, I don't remember them.
those were the ones that they would replicate out of any sort of metal. So they would eat the ship and create more of themselves.
Oh,
Well, that's just
yeah, that would be nasty. Ernest Lamb says all wars are won by attrition. At some point, probably, yeah. Animation Overload says if this is the cartoon, then the Transformers can gather energon from the environment. I'm sure they got their energon rations with them that they take into the battlefield.
Are they crackheads?
Hey, you know, on
Some
YouTube,
bits happen.
there
Come
is
on, Optimus, I
actually,
need my bump, man. I need my bump.
on YouTube, you guys got to look it up. Probably not show it on here, you'll get dinged. But there is a fan-made film called Transformers Green Energon. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, it is the funniest thing ever.
Maji, did you ever find that YouTube channel, Dr. Smooth, with a V?
Oh yeah,
Didn't I show you the
His
one from Robot-
voiceover work is phenomenal.
Didn't I show you the one from Robot Chicken where Optimus Prime was getting cheated on by his girlfriend with his trailer?
Yeah. I don't know if you showed that to me. I remember having seen it. I used to be big Robot Chicken fan. I was buying the DVDs to that and stuff. Don't know where they are now. I've lost all my. I used to have all sorts of DVDs. I've lost them all over the years.
Animation Overload. I don't think Iron Giant would participate in a fight.
Hey, he's
He
more of a
would.
protector than a warrior.
No. He's only a he's only a protector now. Come on, guys. He was like a full. He's built to kill.
He might eat them. until Omega Supreme shows up. But actually,
but-
they may not fight. They're actually sentient, aren't they? Isn't Iron Giant a sentient being?
Yeah, but the only reason he was not wasn't the whole fucking reason that he wasn't aggressive was because he hit himself on the fucking head landing.
Yeah, pretty much. In a deleted scene, I don't know if you guys watched the Blu-ray edition with the deleted scenes, but in one of the deleted scenes, it shows him
Yeah.
sleeping, and then on the TV, Hogarth wakes up and watches like the robots destroying the civilization, very like futuristic Jetson style civilization, and just annihilating everything. And then the giant wakes up and the signal disappears from the TV.
Oh wow!
Point
If,
And
is-
then they deleted it
It's
because they didn't
he's
want
not aggressive, but clearly his species is aggressive.
but I was thinking, if he's sentient, then the Cybertronians, I mean, especially the Autobots, would probably try and talk to him first and might avoid a brawl altogether. But if not, then Omega Supreme could probably contend with him.
Ah, the Dresden Files.
What is
What
the
reference?
Dresden Files? I'm
Oh
not.
my gosh, you need to go and watch
Series,
those.
and it had like a TV show.
I'm so confused, but that's okay.
I haven't seen it either. I always thought it was a cop drama, and then I found out I guess it kind of is. It's like mystical mysteries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's mystical mysteries. It's kind of interesting.
It sounds cool. See, if the Transformers threatened Hogarth, then he'd go gun mode, and for most of the movie, he would act in self-defense.
Well, could the Transformers take on the Reapers from Mass Effect?
I have no idea. I haven't watched how they battle or any since I'm not familiar with the lore. They might be far beyond what I'm even conjuring in my head, or they might be nothing. I don't know. If you're bringing it up, I'm gonna figure they're quite capable.
They're
Well,
the
it's
size of like a
discriminators.
battleship. They're the size of a battleship. They all their appendages have fucking like massive lasers. They can indoctrinate other species using a signal. Turning against you.
Oh, who was the one that turned into the giant barge or battleship or something? Was it something splash or tidal wave or?
Are you talking Sea Splash?
Are you talking
No,
about
not Sea Splash. He's a little guy. I'm talking. He's big on like. He's in Devastator levels of size. He turns into an entire battleship.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
I just can't remember his name. Is it Tidal Wave or something?
Might be.
His name
Now
is.
I gotta look it up.
Holy crap! Both of us are on the stream at the same time, and we came up with a Transformers thought that we can't answer.
Well, he only shows up in the comic books.
That's true. He never did. He never did show up in the TV shows. I mean, at least not the G1.
No, he hasn't.
Maybe a
shown,
Splashdown.
As far as I'm aware, he hasn't shown up in any of them.
Oh, all my Transformer knowledge just comes from the Michael Bay films.
Nemesis was his name.
What was the one that had the big giant wrecking balls? He's eating the pyramid.
Oh,
That was the Michael Bay version of Devastator.
Transformers of- yeah. Those
Thank
are
you, King Bob.
Those aren't Transformers.
My
Well,
remembrance
Maji, they're
of
your favorite films.
Transformers.
You told me before.
My knowledge of
Bayformers do
Transformers.
not exist as Transformers.
What are you talking about? You said it's your favorite fucking movie.
You know what?
They teased the hell out of us with the opening to Bumblebee, though, because it looked like they were going to reboot it and they were going to stick to the characters as they used to be, and then they just went right back to Bayformer style.
Billy, you could go stand under the Bayformer tidal wave and take a look at
Maji,
his
you
balls
said
and
it was
tell
your
me what you
favorite
think.
movie. I didn't say it was mine. You told me it was yours. You know?
I end up forgetting and mixing stuff with the GoBots.
The what?
Poor GoBots.
The GoBots, yes.
The GoBots.
Bots were the less interesting Transformers that didn't have like a really cool cartoon.
Well, in some ways, they're more interesting because they went
Oh, we lost Wrangler.
into the
Yeah,
They,
they went into some serious characterizations, especially with the
I didn't
villains.
say
Like
that they were good.
like
for some
they,
shit.
they actually cared about each other.
Oh yeah.
The internet said, "Fuck you, Wrangler." You're not speaking that. It lagged for you.
Well,
well.
what's funny is the GoBots existed before the Transformers.
Uh huh.
Just barely.
yeah, I mean, Transformers is a mashup brand. So they would like take from 3 different companies that were already making like robots that turn into other stuff. And they made a brand around it in a story that turned into a cartoon. Like there were lots of folding.
Yeah, there were
robots
different
at the end.
companies that made them.
Yes. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely.
Like
Mighty Max.
and you see that divide between the Autobots and Decepticons because the Decepticons were mostly flight capable vehicles and military vehicles, where Autobots were mostly more like daily drivers.
You know what's funny though is that plot didn't get developed till after the pilot episode. The first 3 episodes of Transformers, everybody could fly, and then all of a sudden they're like, you know, we should
Yeah.
have differences between them.
And it's weird in the movie. All of a sudden, the Dinobots seem to be able to fly or almost fly. When we saw them doing it above Cybertron, they were probably, I don't know. They shouldn't have been able to do that, but it was still cool to see.
Remember
I
the
think you
insects?
could argue the gravity effect.
Yeah. Here we go.
So 90s. Early
No
90s.
audio.
No audio. No audio.
No audio?
No audio.
Yep, no audio.
Oh, bummer.
That's alright. I'm actually surprised any clips of this show still exists.
Why is the internet? Always exist.
Yeah, I think they got entire episodes on there. So I sat down to watch one a couple weeks ago. And in the first episode I watched, guess who the villain was? Apophis.
Nice.
All things can be found on the internet.
Oh man.
Yeah, Maji and Wrangler are all nerded out now.
No, wait. Okay, so
Yes, yes, we are.
I mean, my
So-
favorite Transformers were the Insecticons.
the Insecticons.
It was kind of weird how the G1 Insecticons always repeated the final word in their sentence.
Yeah, they were like, they all had like insect voices. They just looked really cool. The toys did.
Have they not introduced the new Decepticons, the Incelcons, you know? Surprised they haven't done that.
Give it time.
That's gonna be funny.
How do Transformers reproduce exactly?
That is what-
That could depend on the continuity.
And the generation.
Yep.
So, you want to go over Gen 1 and I'll go over Gen 2.5?
What is Gen 2.5?
All right. It's kind of inconsistent in Gen. Well, Gen 1 had a lot of inconsistencies. They're kind of known for it. But I think what was it? The Dinobots is the first ones that we saw that were, I guess you could technically call newborn.
Yeah. That's where they're
But then later on, they established they kind of needed to connect to Vector Sigma at the center of Cybertron in order to bring life to them, and they did that. And then, but Alpha Trion had to sacrifice his life so others could be born. So it's weird with the Dinobots; they could just build new ones willy nilly, and then later on, they actually tried to put a little bit of continuity in there, and they couldn't just make a new one anytime they wanted.
And
They
then-
didn't have the Deceptibirds and the Deceptibees.
Well, okay, so this
But
is
they-
where I'd say Gen 1 or Gen 2.5 comes in, because Gen 1 switched over to Japan, and Japan was flirting with different ideas to make them more realistic.
Yeah, like they canceled out Rebirth and actually did a couple more seasons, I think, right?
With Beast Wars Neo, Victory, it gets a little complicated with the 4 Japanese ones. But then Beast Wars came out. Beast Wars was the first to introduce because at the end of the Generation 1, you kind of, what he was talking about with Alpha Trion's sacrifice, they kind of added to that by calling it a spark, or the Transformer's soul. And because it's connected to Cybertron,
That was the
aka
first mention of Spark in anywhere, wasn't it? Even before the comics, I think, or was it in the comics first?
This is the birth of the spark, but they were playing off of both the Gen 1 idea and the Japanese idea. And so the spark is what makes each individual Transformer unique. It's their soul, which comes from the heart of Primus. Now, it gets a little complicated. So you can build the bodies, but without the spark, they're mindless drones.
Right, NPCs.
And so the spark's what
Such
brings
as
them-
Nightingale, but she was built by humans.
Mhm. And
I
so
really
one
thought
of-
they were going to expand on that too.
I'm surprised they didn't. One of the arguments, like Starscream didn't get destroyed by Megatron in the Beast Wars series from the movie, was because his spark exists, and then it possessed Waspinator, one of the Insecticons.
That was great. I saw that. I mean, whoever voice matched him did a pretty damn good job.
All right, James. Start your
R.I.P.
battle.
Chris Latta.
What was that, Billy?
Start your battle with them. Let's hear it.
Okay, well, it's pretty simple. The replicators are the robot forms of the Tyranids. They consume anything,
Oh, yeah.
and if they were to come into contact with, essentially, they're nanobots too. These guys are nanobots. They can reshape
Yeah.
themselves. They have a shared hive mind, and anything they can come in contact with, they can destroy, add it into their hive mind, and they can replicate it. Meaning that as soon as they take out an Autobot, they themselves can become that Autobot with all of its equipment, all
Yeah,
of its know-how, and all of its
All of its
knowledge.
memories.
that's
Well,
why.
because it's a machine, yes.
Yeah,
And possibly even take human memories, because as it continues to evolve, eventually it will reach biological status and be able to replicate a human
yeah.
and produce their own humans.
That's
so
what they did.
it's-
In
Well, it'd be
Atlantis,
interesting
isn't
if
it?
they took out an Autobot or a Cybertronian in general, because they do have a bit of an organic component to them as well.
Yeah.
But
So
this
they're
could be
very
interesting because it's now taking on a sentient individual who is mechanical. This might
Yeah.
actually evolve the replicants to start thinking things in a different way.
Yeah,
Maybe-
in
Maybe
Atlantis.
even start to civilize and want to interact rather than
Their
Consume.
ultimate goal is simply to consume.
Yeah.
Possibly, but they have taken out many intelligent life forms before, and it has never.
Oh, okay, so
Yeah,
that hasn't.
So
All
in
right,
Stargate
then that's not
Atlantis-
likely then.
Civilization. I think Tyranids, but robots. That's literally what you're dealing
But
with.
in
here's the thing,
Stargate
though.
Atlantis, they ended up creating human form robots.
Chrono Trigger. What's up, Crow? Good to see you stopping in, though.
Here's the thing with the argument, though. You got the hive mind versus the individual mind. That could be a weakness in itself because that comes down to intelligence.
Get Will Smith from
But
Men in
they're
Black to show up with the neuralizer and just wipe out the whole horde at one shot.
I mean, you can try because they're not all at the exact same planet at the exact same time.
Yeah.
They spread so rapidly, it's ridiculous.
The one alien species that they ran into that was fighting them and that was why they weren't protecting Earth, is because they were fighting the replicators. Is they kept creating bigger and bigger and bigger technology to try to destroy them, and every time they came up with this bigger thing, the replicators would come and take it over, consume it, and now they had access to the new technology.
I guess the only way to truly take them out would be to take out the hive mind, which is usually the way you do it. And of course, that's their.
That's
one
probably
weakness.
not going to be easy at all.
Not easy because they swarm.
Well-
but if you can, and it's been done before, clearly all enemies are defeatable.
Yeah, one of the cool things was that their secret trump card was the human race, because we used ancient forms of technology that nobody wanted to use. It's like shotguns.
Yeah, apparently they were too.
Don't mess with the Appalachia.
We were too low tech for them to defend against.
So
Essentially,
you're saying we were too retarded?
yes. In fact, that's why the aliens kind of chose mankind to face off against them.
Yep.
It's their number one weakness: obsolete equipment.
Basically,
You know what? Okay, James, I got a question. Do you think they
Yeah.
the flood versus them? Who do you think wins?
Well, can the flood consume them? Because they can consume the flood, and I think
Can
the
they
crazy
consume the flood? Because
they
they
can.
can't consume organic material. Can
No,
they?
they can consume organic material. They can consume all material. They break it all down.
Yeah.
But that's why they're basically the the Tyranids. That's what Tyranids do. They go to a planet and they wipe it all out and just leave it as a barren husk. But these guys themselves would break down the planet and could possibly just consume the planet's raw material itself to make more and more. And they'll form themselves into actual fleets of ships to go to places and even just assault them in the air or crash land on the ground. And the ships themselves are all nanobots. The ships will break down and become their own foot troopers. So extremely dangerous. But an interesting thing was, what if there was a hybrid between them and the flood? That would be actually, I think, a very
Well, I
ultimate
mean, the
and
flood-
dangerous enemy.
I
Flood-
think the replicants would take out the flood.
You know what I
flood
find-
spit- Hold up. The flood
Yeah.
specifically targets organic material because that's the whole point of the Halo rings is when they fire off,
Yeah.
they kill all life.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
Because I was thinking about it as the X parasite from Metroid would take out the flood, but these replicants would take out the X parasite. So if these replicants could take out the X parasite, they should be able to take out the flood.
yeah. But humans
Well,
defeat them, so there you guys go.
I was about to say, technically, we're leaving one robot out, and that would be Blaine Pardo's Diesel bots from his tech series. Because they don't actually have robotics in them, they're human made and old school engineering, they might actually be able to defeat them just fine.
Defeat them
There's no real
definitely.
circuitry.
I think that's also a difference
Oh.
that's not mentioned is though they're machines, they are, susceptible to blunt force damage and breakdown and stuff like that. So I think that actually might be something where would be good because the technology would also be low level technology. So even if they were to consume it, it wouldn't be a loss of technology because it would be something that they probably could already achieve.
What was that one cartoon?
So the
series?
replicants are pretty much a gray goo that took on a will of its own.
Something like that, yeah. They were kind of created from a great race who managed to essentially splice their own human being to life, and that biological machine they made created the replicators, which literally just got out of hand and started consuming all.
I'm just glad we don't have them in real life.
Yeah, we defeated them, so it's cool. Stargate team. took care of
Sounds good. Now, is this from SG1? Because I don't
Yeah.
remember any of this.
That was SG1 in the later seasons. I think they're second to the last enemy they faced before the show went.
Okay, I never caught the rest the later seasons. I saw the ones with MacGyver guy, but
Yeah.
I caught a few episodes of later ones with the Farscape crew, but
So MacGyver was actually the one that formed a relationship with the Asgard. So he helped them start the war with or not start the war, but he
Richard
helped
Dean
the
Anderson.
humans. Yeah, he helped the humans join in, helping them with the fight them.
Clearly, we're Stargate nerds, nerding out here. Space nerds. Everybody's got their space robots they love. Speaking of the Gilded situation, what's everyone's opinion on that? What are you going to do next? Because as people may or may not know, Gilded is owned by Roblox, and now you're soon going to need a Roblox account connected to your Gilded account, or else you don't get to use your Gilded.
yeah, I already created one. I don't even know what Roblox is. I created the account and let me go back to Gilded, and it seems to be good now. Whether
Yeah,
or
I'm
not
not-
I continue to use it, quite frankly, for me, depends on where everyone else gathers.
Right now, it's looking like people are moving over to Discord. I personally already had a Discord, and Discord's already a much more stable program than Gilded ever was.
Yeah, but there's some things I don't even like about Discord. There's a file share size limit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my avatar on Gilded, I tried to use on my Discord, and it said it was too big a file.
Oh yeah, it did the
No.
same thing for me. I had to actually use the more compressed.
I have to take that picture and screenshot it, crop that, and then try and use it. And
What file type is it?
goodness.
Is it a PNG? The PNG might be able just to change it over to a JPEG, and it should be significantly smaller.
I
I
think
don't know.
it is pretty sure for him.
Yeah, because PNGs are kind of big files, but I get you. There's downsides to all of them. I'm just glad that overall Discord doesn't have as much failure as Gilded has. There are particular issues I only found on Gilded that have always just got underneath my skin.
It's much more stable, but there are some features I think were better on the Gilded.
Yeah, there were ways Gilded broke things up that I like better than Discord. Like if we go into the voice chat and we drop stuff in the, we make posts in there. It's in its own voice chat channel. I went to do that in Discord and realized, oh, Just voice chat.
It's just voice
It-
chat.
Yeah, it's just voice chat. Over here, all the stuff where I went to make a post, that just went to general chat.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there talking to somebody on someone's server, and I'm like, he asked me a question. I'm like, oh yeah, here's a link, and I'm dropping links to my stuff in the general chat of someone else's server, and I realize what I'm doing. I'm like, no, delete. It's Captain Garrett. Obviously, Captain Garrett's pretty cool about that, but I didn't intend to just drop that in the main server. Like, I'm here, look at my stuff. I wasn't trying to derail his threads.
It's that, and also you can the separate categories and channels. You can actually dedicate them to like a art gallery thing, a bunch of other stuff on Guilded you can't do on Discord, or I haven't seen you can do it. Maybe you
No,
can.
Screw it. I know. That's it. We're all going to MySpace.
Does it still even exist?
Yeah.
To
Yes,
my
it
last
is.
knowledge, yes.
Or how about Sue? I think it's spelled TSU. Does anybody remember that? It was like a Facebook clone that.
Well,
All right, old man.
a lot of the people on Twix was talking about a place called Revolt. I'm half tempted to check it out, see if it's worth it.
I grew up in GeoCities. Anyone remember that?
Oh yeah,
No,
GeoCities.
Yeah.
I never got into that, so I
That's
don't.
one of the first places you could make your own website because they'd give you a little bit of space, so you didn't have to
Yep,
do with any
fixed
of the
space.
back end. Yeah.
Or fixed pages.
Mhm.
I was on bulletin board systems playing Legend of the Red Dragon, a text-based game. Or who remembers going on to CompuServe and playing British Legends? All text-based.
I
Before my
remember
time.
CompuServe, but not that one.
Do we need to get the duster out during the stream?
I feel it. I feel like we do. I've been coughing over here the whole time. It's the dust that's in this panel.
Well, let me boot up the old TRS-80, and that'd be
that's what you
actually
need,
that would be
dude.
fun if somebody could. If I found a TRS-80, try and hook it up online and see how much it can handle.
That's what you need to do. Frequency. You need to get the old dial-up.
There's still people making video
I
games.
got my 600
for,
baud modem.
even like for Commodore 64 and stuff. There's still people making new games for those platforms. Like it's a very niche
Yep.
market. It's kind of
Yeah. I actually know that
Wow.
there's at least one
Exists.
game engine. There's at least one game engine out there that is made for Game Boy games. So people can make brand new
Wow.
Game Boy games.
Chad is talking about IRQ. I originally thought they were talking about IRC.
Ernest Lamb says 2 Facebook alternatives that he used have accounts for where Minds and Elo. I have a Minds. I've never heard of Elo.
I'm on mines.
I still have a Facebook account, but
I'm also on Truth. I only
Second.
found one person over there that I know. That's
I'm on there, but I
DJ
don't
Marquise. So I
Very often.
followed him, but he hasn't been on there since sometime mid last year, so he doesn't even know I sent him a thing. So.
What's your username on there?
Frequency Studios.
Okay.
Pretty much everything I put on Facebook. I almost said Facebook. On Twitter and Minds, I mirror on there too, even though I don't know anyone on there. But I figure if it gets knocked off of either of the other two, it'll still be on there. Yeah, I heard. Even they're still coming up with some people are still coming up with NES games, right, King Bob? It says emulators can still do all the old systems. Because I thought I heard that like somebody made new NES stuff. Not Nintendo, but
The retro games are
But
cool,
wasn't
man.
Nintendo, didn't they sue the one dude and actually win the case? Who was a no, I don't think it was an emulator, but he had like the code source or whatever for a Nintendo.
that I don't know about.
Any of y'all remember that?
No,
I'm
I
not
don't.
sure.
I don't remember. Look that up. They managed to sue the person for it and win.
Ernest says Elo was an artist and shut down a year or two ago. Bummer. This Linux distro I use comes with emulators for so many old systems.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
then there's also DOSBox. Actually, DOSBox even runs on Windows for those old DOS games.
Oh, so I could play like King's Quest and Space
Oh, yeah.
Quest and Heroes Quest, which later became Quest for Glory. I think there was
Yeah.
one other Quest game, wasn't there?
Yeah, Quest,
I mean, if you want to count Leisure Suit Larry and the Angela Loud's Lizards, there's that too.
listen, frequency.
Leisure
You're
Suit Larry
the
does.
best game, Quest.
That was made by the Roberts, Sierra. They got bought out eventually. I mean, those were such cool games at that time. They wouldn't hold up today, but at the time they were doing it, it was groundbreaking.
Oh, there's still
Who
like a
remembers the
dedicated-
Amiga?
Yeah, it's cool. It's still cool to go back to some of those old games. Like good gameplay and good game story. It holds up very well. Like you don't really need the top of the line graphics all the time.
And there's still a lot of people play old arcade games.
Oh yeah.
Kind of
Heck, I just started playing the Castlevania on Game Boy on the Switch Online.
Hell, we've kind of been in a renaissance with a lot of people wanting to do old 8-bit arcade games.
That's been popular for a number of years now.
Yep.
What was it? Golden Axe or something like that?
That was on Sega.
The funny thing is now that like technology has increased, you either have to actually get like an 8-bit game going, you have to spend a some amount of money on the art just because it's a particular niche style now. And for
Oh, so you got to get the assets.
you got to get the assets, and those cost money from before, you know. Or,
Have
you
a
know,
great night, Animation Overload. Thanks for stopping in.
What was that
Can't
one?
you get
copy-
AI sprites now?
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Golden Axe was banned. What, Machi, when did that happen? Maji?
Baji's dead. Ding, ding.
But
She's out of Energon cubes.
Oh wow, my voice is so shot.
Nerded
She
her
posted, I don't know why.
wasn't there a top-down scroller thing where one of the characters was like a barbarian wielding an axe?
Yes, Gauntlet.
Yes, Gauntlet. Man, I remember
Yeah,
playing the
good
crap
one.
out of that.
You can still pick up a Gauntlet game on Steam. I think that one came out 10 years ago. So there you go.
Yeah, I think I've seen Gauntlet 1 and 2. But it's just interesting remembering all the games that I used to play and waste time on, and now it's like I'm not as interested in playing those anymore.
Yeah, there's
Gauntlet
some other
Legends.
good top down. Smash TV. Commando. No, not Commando.
Well, there was
I gotta
Commando
get-
on Commodore 64. There was a good Commando game.
Akari Warriors. King Bob says Gauntlet Legends is all right. It's on Steam.
I have that one. I played it, passed it, and I don't think I touched it since. It's one of those one through games.
Yeah. So, in you guys' opinion, what gives a game good replayability?
It's kind of a large question.
I mean, it depends on the genre, but most of it's gameplay. Gameplay's ass.
Variation as
Have
well.
fun with the gameplay. I'm gonna go back and replay it, even if the story isn't too sprawling. It's pretty set in stone. If I'm having fun with the gameplay mechanics, I'm gonna come back and play. I mean, I love the Portal games bits. I
It
love
always-
the mechanics.
It always comes down to gameplay because I've played some games that have generally great stories, but I wouldn't pick them up again because the gameplay wasn't there.
Well, I'm kind of like devil's advocate here because I'm replaying Fallout 1 and the mechanics kind of suck. But the story is very cool. The options are very, very good.
Yeah,
It's
but the
very-
options are in the gameplay. That-
Okay. It's the actual
Like the Fallout
game
thing-
fighting mechanics that
Fallout,
kind of
right?
suck. The game
Because
mechanics and
Fallout
the
1
inventory screens.
Yeah, but Fallout 1's a fun CRPG.
It's so fun. It is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. I don't remember which characters are available in there, but one of my annoyances which was a hilarious annoyance in Fallout 2 was Sulik would decide that he needed to go melee and he would run and attack somebody, and then the mutant with the chain gun would just cut him down.
I think one of the things that offers well to lends itself well to replayability is, like, I think Mega Man did it. You can go to any of the stages, and then you don't have to go through stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 in a particular order. You can jump right into any of the stages. When you beat the boss, you get their power up, so you could go through and try different stages with a power up you didn't try before, or say, hey, if I do it this stage first and get that item, then maybe try it this way instead, and then you end up getting different routes to the end of the game.
Yeah, you want to change the sequence of the items you get to help you go up the game way smoother, because some bosses will have like one shot versus one specific weapon. And there's an interesting thing I learned about Mega Man 2. Apparently the company, Capcom, they didn't want to make it, and it's the devs that kind of insisted on it, and the company was like, okay, but you do it like in the evenings and on the weekends, which is kind of the same way Fallout was made. It was like a side project that eventually was published by
If I remember,
Oh, kind of like Silk Song. It was just supposed to be some DLC for their game, and then ended up becoming its own thing if it ever gets released.
well, Fallout 1 was an actual like full production. It wasn't just we don't want to do it.
No, I mean, it started like office hours. Like it was in the evenings and on the weekends for the longest time.
Well, if I remember correctly, they didn't own the rights to the other post-apocalyptic CRPG they done before.
Yeah, but that's some backwards history stuff, because they weren't trying to do a wasteland. They were actually trying to do a new thing, and they brainstormed from scratch.
Yeah,
People
but it's still based
associated
on
to Wasteland
post-apocalyptic.
afterwards, but it was like a marketing department thing.
Yeah, but they still were wanting to do a post-apocalyptic, just
Yeah,
really ramping it up,
yeah, definitely. And it worked out well for them. But it was like, he was paying pizza for people to stay after work and like give hours after their day to work on it. So that's how it started.
That's why I'm so
Wrong,
glad
there
I
was like
never went into game design, man. It's just a shit, freaking ridiculous field where they'll pay you a pizza instead of cash, and you might not even have a job at the end of the year.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't it like they had like a game-breaking bug like 2 or 3 days before launch?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
Tim Kaine and them had to fucking like figure out how to fucking fix this before it goes right out to launch.
There's still bugs in the original game. Like, it's not a perfect game.
Or you could just do like a Bethesda and leave the bugs in it and like, oh, we'll patch it later or let the mods do it.
Christian, he found out the mod in New Vegas and shit. Figuring it out.
Yep. I found this annoying thing. If you press tab.
How you doing? Are you feeling better?
Mostly. I had a bit of a rough night last night, but no, mostly okay.
Yeah, between you and Readout, I'm like, are we gonna all catch something here?
You're all going to get it. But no, I was playing it last night for way too long, and I when you press tab, it brings up your Pip-Boy, which is like your little in-game menu, and I missed it. I pressed a different button, and it brought up the command keys, and I could not get out of it for anything.
Oh, I hate those.
Oh, it was so annoying, dude. And like I couldn't even get out of the game. Like I couldn't minimize the game to go look on the computer. So like grab my damn phone, start looking it up. I'm like,
It would have been funny if you accidentally pressed a button, pulled out your gun, and blew off the fucking character set off.
Pretty much,
the
man.
Tilde.
I'll admit, like,
if you're gonna do that, record it and put it on your channel.
pretty like any game like this, I save scum like a mother effer, dude. It's not even funny.
Did you look up the crack? I know, like I told you, to watch some of them modding guys because they do give you some pretty good essential ones. That you know.
Yeah, no, pretty much every like New Vegas list has like you need these just for the game to run like a fucking game.
Yeah, on New Vegas, you almost have to save constantly because I'm running around and it just crashes, and then I load it back up and I'm
Raven. It's like a memory leak on the game that causes that. It even happens on the Xbox 360. Back in the compatible version has that problem where it just randomly decides it wants to crash.
Actually, Maji speaks the truth. Any Bethesda game needs at least 3 different saves. 100%, dude.
Yeah.
However, I'd like to clarify something with King Bob here. He said it's the key above the tab button.
I did eventually figure that out.
That's what kills the hotkeys.
Yeah, it brings up the hotkeys and it also gets rid of them. But I couldn't, I didn't correlate that symbol with that button. Looking at it here versus on the screen, I had a lot of trouble finding it. But I am somewhat computer illiterate, so that's expected.
Now you need to get Dragon Age Origins.
No, I don't. No. I've watched people play it. It does not look fun to me.
That sounds similar to how I start my day. It's called Dragon Ass. Mornings.
Every single day.
Anybody play XCOM and frustratingly save all the time on that one too?
No, I can't say I have.
Hey, what I gotta say about Switch Online though is playing through the old games and then I gotta just stop and go do something. That ability to just create save spots wherever is awesome.
Do modern games not do that?
XCOM is the one where you're fighting off aliens, right?
Yes, it's a turn-based shooter where you kill aliens.
The only turn-based game I like is freaking Pokemon because I'm a boomer.
You'd love XCOM, and then get frustrated when you have a 85% chance of shooting the enemy and you miss.
Oh
yeah.
I think XCOM 2, it killed me, was the time limit, the turn time limit.
I don't like when a game gives you a percentage. Like even New Vegas, like you bring up the menu, like you could, if you shoot this person with this weapon right now, like each of these areas, it's this percentage to hit it. Even when it's in the higher percentages, it'll usually freaking miss. I'm like, I'd rather just not know. Just let me try.
That's because you need to know how to build your fucking character.
Yeah,
it's a brand new character, man. Calm down.
You have certain perks, you can get an increased percentage for like hitting the head or hitting the body multiple times in a row.
Also, in the beginning of that game, there's that mission where the guy's hiding out in that like the beginning freaking town.
Yeah.
And you have to either like help the town defend him or work with the other group to try to take him down and bring him back.
You have to go over to the Powder Gang's jail and do all of their missions first and then come back and do that.
Yeah, I decided fuck the Powder Gang. But anyway, I figured like I know where this Joe guy is. I'll just pop him in the head with this Silence 22 that I found. No. Absolutely not. That fails the mission. Excuse me, how?
That's dumb.
Yeah, see, like yeah, it's like nope, I have to go through the song and dance. And I like the mission. Like you have to convince people to help you out in the town and it does make sense. But I'm like I effectively solved the freaking problem my own way, and then it fails the mission.
You know what's an underappreciated game that got destroyed by the second one?
Tell me.
Deus Ex.
Whoa.
Are you talking about the original?
The first Deus Ex was amazing, and then the second one got destroyed by microtransactions. You couldn't physically beat the game unless you
Hold up. Which one are you talking about, Maji? Because
she's talking about the original ones.
The original Deus Ex.
Okay.
I was going to say, I like Mankind Divided actually better in some ways, but that's because I hate the yellow piss filter aesthetic of Human Revolution.
Maji, are you talking about the originals? Or are you talking about Human Revolution and Mankind?
No, she's talking about Deus Ex and then Deus Ex. What was it? Invisible War. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I have those games. I need to play the original ones actually.
I think
game. Go ahead.
I think I got one of those and tried playing it, and then I just gave up and went and played another game.
Blah. One game that's the exact opposite is Evil Within. Evil Within 1 sucked. Evil Within 2 is really good, but because Evil Within 1 sucked, nobody played the second one.
That is true. I played the first one. I was like, this fucking blows. This game's ass.
Well, like Frick.
Came out.
I'm
not finishing that.
Way back in the day, my wife got me the first Titanfall game, I wasn't really into competitive online gaming at the time, and it turns out there was no story mode. I'm like, oh, so I effectively won't play this game. That's a lot of fun. And then the second one came out, and it had one of the coolest first-person shooter campaigns of any first-person shooter I've played. I was really, really impressed with that game.
And nobody played the second one.
I know, dude. The mechanics were clean. The store, like the way they structured the solo campaign was really the levels were really, really interesting and really well put together. And no one freaking played it.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Baji, before I interrupted you?
Microtransactions.
Christian,
Squirrel?
to be fair with Titanfall 2, EA intentionally fucked that game.
I know, dude.
It wasn't just
sucks.
nobody gave it a chance. It was intentionally EA fucked it really bad, putting it in between Battlefield and Call of
I
Duty.
forgot that.
All right, Maji. Speak, woman.
I honestly don't remember. That's why I said squirrel.
Squirrel. You were talking about Invisible War and microtransactions, how you can't beat the game without them.
I actually think it was We as Human, the third one that you couldn't beat without the microtransactions.
Okay.
One of them
yeah.
you could not beat without buying the gun, physically paying for the gun.
Yeah, I hate
get
stuff
so
like that.
mad.
But I'm like, how do you balance that also? Because there are games like where if you buy the extras, it makes a really big difference, or sometimes too big of it, like you have to win. And others where the extras are completely useless, like RDR2. Yeah, they had this
Okay,
extra
here's-
like stuff, and it was garbage.
Here's my opinion on
Or Mankind
microtransactions.
Divided.
Oh yeah.
Here's my opinion on microtransactions. I get that the game companies probably need to make a little money, especially the ones they have to keep the servers running on. However, when you make it that you have to do the microtransaction to beat the game, that's going too far. If it's a cosmetic reason or whatnot, shoot, I
Sure.
might even take place in one just for a cool skin. But if you're gonna force me to buy something so I can finish what I started that I already paid for, we got a problem.
Mm-hmm. It's like, hey, you know that game you bought? Yeah. You need to buy this extra like half DLC pack in order to have the equipment you need to freaking beat it. Freaking clowns.
And it all started with Bethesda's horse armor. Well, no, it actually started with Nexon, but it was Bethesda who started bringing it into the mainstream.
At least it's not as bad as EA's freaking advertisements they're trying to slip in like they did in Ready Player One.
I heard about that.
Oh yeah.
I
yeah.
saw an earlier comment from King Bob saying that he froze to death today. What exactly happened there?
I think he meant. I think he's talking about socially and emotionally.
No, that's a Suburban Commando reference.
Oh, I thought he was just talking about like his computer or something.
Suburban
No,
Commando.
It's the most famous line from the
Antifreeze.
movie.
Suburban Commando.
Christopher Lloyd just shouts that out, and it's just so awkward of a line, but it's hilarious for how much passion he gives into it.
I can see that.
Oh, Christopher Lloyd always seems to throw himself into his roles. By the way, Maji, I have the clip to where it can be showed now.
Okay, now what's this all about? And how come you look like a chicken?
I'm a fowl, not a chicken.
What is that from?
Mighty Max.
Yeah, Mighty
Okay,
Max.
because I must have seen that a little bit when I was very, very young.
This is before your time, Kahuna or Kahooner.
You calling me a youngin there, Maji?
Yeah, just a little.
I have a lot of jokes. Anyway, moving on. That's why I was so impressed. Like all this talk of microtransactions, it reminds me of Helldivers 2 with Arrowhead. I don't agree with everything they've done. They've made some mistakes, but like there are no any microtransaction in the game you can get with in-game currency that you encounter fairly frequently. Like there's nothing that is like, oh, it's a limited time offer, only for 5 days if you pay this much. No, you can just buy the game, $40, play it a reasonable amount, find a way to farm the super credits, and then you can buy every edition into the game. It's really
That
really
whole limited time offer thing made me think of Elder Scrolls Online. They always do that whenever you hit their launch. Whenever you launch the game, it comes with the launch window. It's like, buy this before it expires. The latest DLC. Like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that.
Ask Maji about that. I know she was a simp for that game for a while.
I was frozen today.
Simp hell. You want to know what my freaking hour played is? Well, every time I look at my PS5,
Wow.
200.
1,500.
Holy shit!
Let's check mine. I don't think mine's anywhere near that.
Holy crap!
Keep in
Yeah,
mind, this
no,
is a span
simp
of
is
over
correct.
5 years, but still, I spent way too much of my
That's
life
a
on that damn game.
lot, man.
I know I've been playing it for roughly 5 years, but I've been on and off.
Well,
think if I-
I didn't even bother to buy the new DLC. The last DLC really pissed me off, especially how they were shoving like every other quest was like. I hate to say this because I really don't care about your love life, but it felt like they were trying to shove lesbian gay relationships down my throat.
I noticed that as well. I got the High Isles DLC, and they got a character in there who is supposed to be a suave buckler who picks up chicks, and they turned him into a bisexual guy. And every time I pass him, he hits on me.
Yeah, I
And
know.
you're-
He was so
and you're-
cool
and-
prior to that.
What game are we
Jakar,
talking
yeah.
about?
Elder
So wait, Jay-
Scrolls.
Oh no, an Elder
Yeah, they
Scrolls.
made Jakar gay, well, bisexual, so he hits on everybody. He's not just bisexual, but he's like loose, very loose.
He looks. It's like no, stop, just stop
He's
stop
like,
it,
hey,
stop.
good looking, ready to go on
Why
another
wants to
adventure.
celebrate Pride Month?
Hey, if we're gonna do that, then can we just focus in on the hot lesbos? Other than that, just the rest can all go away.
The hot no.
But that's
It's not
the thing.
better.
Okay,
It's the
so-
same. It's the same problem.
Okay.
People you
No,
don't.
no. Actually,
Yeah,
here-
but it's tailored to my preference, so it makes it
Machi,
better.
how many hours did you have again? I'm looking at mine now. I'm gonna compare.
Okay, so the High Isle DLC, they reintroduced. Well, I guess the DLC prior to that, they introduced the companions. Well, in the High Isle, they got a freaking lesbian knight that's ugly as hell, and if you get her up high enough for dialogue, you're not entirely sure she's flirting with you or not, and it's so
Wow.
awkward.
That's what they
So-
do. to
so
all
wait,
their,
She comes into the party like,
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's fight for the greater good, yo. I like Muff.
In Elder Scrolls, I got 1,934 hours. That's
I
what
got
Jesus
1,500
Christ.
installed.
Is that more or less than you, Maji? I don't know. Yours just
It is still way too much. Of my life.
Granted, there have been times when I closed down the game and I accidentally just left the launcher open, and it probably count that too. So
I don't know if it counts the launcher or not. I don't know how the
Sure.
PlayStation
I was-
analyzes it.
I was in there for a long time, and the only reason I picked up that DLC is because it had a card game, and now I realize the card game, when it gives
It's
you
stupid.
rewards, it sucks, but when it gives you rewards, it's intentionally made so that way it jam packs your inventory with crap that would otherwise automatically go into this premium inventory that holds an infinite amount of crafting items, but you have to be a paying subscriber to get it. And I am
That's
99%
that's so
sure
scummy, dude.
they
That's
made
so
it
scummy.
just so it would make the addicted card gamers pay that $15 so they can just move all their shit rewards into that bag, and it doesn't
Yeah,
clog their inventory.
Like I said, I was so bored with the last DLC. It was 100% predictable. They were shoving all this crap in. Like, it was to the point I'm like, oh, hey, look, the only straight white guy. I bet you he's going to be the villain by the end of it. He was!
Ta-da! Is it like the
And,
villain from the Disney's Wish? He's like, I can't grant every wish. You're a villain.
Well, no, but see, at least the villain in the game was an actual villain trying to kill you. But the Wish guy, he did nothing wrong and then eventually evolved into the villain. But that's a different story. So,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
didn't
a
even
different
bother
story.
to
A
buy
worse
the new
story.
DLC.
A terrible story. A worse
Yeah,
story.
I'm not buying any new DLC. I barely buy any. I just bought that one because of the card game, and it wasn't worth it.
What game?
Elder Scrolls Online, they introduced an online card game in it.
I like why would you want to play a modern MMO? I feel like the time for MMOs has passed.
Well, there's
There's a
also the
little-
idea of how they messed with the lore. And
Holy
Elder Scrolls
fucking shit,
Online.
Otter! You sound like shit.
Do I?
How,
Yeah.
okay, I'm
Sound like a
curious
piece of
now.
shit.
Well, I know they did, but
Hold
I,
up.
I want to hear Otter's take.
I'll be back.
I want to hear him
You
when
can
he's
fix
not in
this
a
mic.
fucking tunnel.
Don't leave me.
Yeah, Greymore was the last
Secret
DLC I
tunnel.
bought for Elder Scrolls, and the last time I played. the game.
Raynor threw
Greymore
off a
was
lot
DLC.
of the Skyrim lore, though.
Yeah,
Well,
one,
Skyrim.
it
I
was-
heard didn't
it was
Skyrim
focused
f up
on
a bunch of the lore
vampires.
too?
Well, it was focused on vampires, which made no fucking sense because High Rock is where vampires are from. The only vampires that were in Skyrim were the what's his name?
I like that zone though. I
Molag
thought Greymore was okay.
Yeah, but
Aesthetically speaking.
I mean, I like going to Solitude, sure.
Yeah, they did all right with Solitude. That was a nice town.
I do
I
like
just-
it, except
I don't know,
that
the overall story.
if you like take part in the Civil War, and you go with the Imperials, you cannot go to Solitude. Or am I
No,
getting
yeah.
a mix? No, I'm thinking of Windhelm. Am I? Yeah, I got it
Windhelm,
mixed up.
yeah, Windhelm. They don't like you until you beat the whole entire quest line.
Well, pick what side did you guys pick in the Civil War? I'm curious.
Stormcloaks.
Stormcloaks.
I
Fundamentally,
both.
yeah.
Like shit. Picture. Check to see if your mic is plugged in because it sounds like you're coming out of like the computer directly.
Yeah, I've done both, and then eventually I've learned just don't join either side because,
No, you specifically joined the Stormcloaks.
well, I said
No.
I did 2 campaigns.
I did not focus on the war, and all I did was hunt down dragons until I got bored.
Dude, I had so many mods. I could.
All right,
I played
what
that
side
game
you
so
on,
much.
Christian?
Fundamentally, like what they believe, Stormcloaks. But because the leader is a dictator kind of asshole, I always went with the Imperials because like all of his actions were that of a coward, and I decided I wouldn't follow a fucking
Not to
coward
mention they were
in a
racist
rebellion.
bastards.
Yeah, but you can retcon murdering him later on.
How's this, by the way?
Taking over.
It's
Still pretty bad, man. I don't know.
The fuck is going on with my mic?
no, dude.
It sounds like you're on the phone.
Oh, Otter, check
Read out,
this.
what side are you on?
Otter, check the settings on StreamYard. Sometimes it will select the wrong mic.
I'm on the same
out.
side I'm always on. My side.
Speaking of Elder Scrolls Online, I am almost done leveling up my character to max level only by playing the card game.
Did
Oh,
Reed
no,
out get
yeah.
kidnapped by the furries to go to FurryCon?
I don't know. He says Curse Hamilton though.
I'm
Is
still
this
here.
any better?
What side are you on, Reed out?
On what?
The Civil War in Skyrim. Boy.
Well, the Civil
Boy.
War, that would be the Union, because I'm from Pennsylvania. From Pennsylvania.
I will slap you, silly boy. Swear to God.
I cannot comment on the Skyrim Civil War.
You never played Skyrim?
Oh
I
my
did
god,
not.
he's an Aldmeri Dominion spy. Kill him.
Kill him. He's a racist elf. Get him.
Oh,
as I got older, I
They
realized,
actually put him.
they're basically the FBI. They're just racist FBI. That's all.
Did we really just chase him out of here?
yes.
Get out of here, Readout, and your little Civil War bullshit.
I hope not.
I always compared
So
them to
Tim
the
Pool's
KGB.
favorite game is Skyrim, right?
You sound better. You sound better, Otter, especially when Billy Bob is interrupting you.
I found out the problem. It was StreamYard. They fucked
Yep.
with my audio settings.
Yep, it will just randomly do that sometimes.
I don't know why it did it.
He's back.
I like the music though.
Yeah, what?
Oh, this sounds cool.
That's from James Esparza.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Esparza.
That's why he keeps on saying
All right,
world without end. Yay.
Explain your decision.
My decision.
Okay, Rita.
Stormcloaks.
So I have a question for you since we've completely nerded out this entire time and you haven't had a single history book. What is your favorite genre other than history?
That's a good question. I don't know how I can answer that. I like a lot
Sci-fi
of things.
smut.
He likes historical fiction, Maji.
Clearly anime.
Surprisingly, I do not read much historical fiction.
Historical economics, Mud.
What I mean is,
Actually,
okay,
read
so-
out. What do you think of those alternate history theories? Like they say, okay, if this happened back at this point in history, here's the timeline we'd likely be looking at. What do you think of those channels?
Those suck.
They can inspire some very fascinating timelines, but in most cases, they're really crackpot. And it's like, yes, that could hypothetically happen, but that's a lot of hypotheticals to get to that point.
He is
Oh my
just
God.
as
I remember-
looks down on the rest of us.
I remember seeing one of those when I was young, and the whole shtick was what would happen if the Union lost the Civil War, and it was basically everything evil down the road.
It was
America
such-
would do.
Yeah,
It was
I've
like
seen those.
America would support the Nazis. Canada would build a wall between the U.S. and America, and then
And in this
So
storyline,
pretty much it's
Canada
mirror
was right.
universe.
yeah, Canada was like super good.
And that's a
We were
really,
super-
really lazy way of doing alternate history.
Those evil people coming up over the border, those animals. Freaking.
Speaking of history, though, I actually got a old, because I am a book collector, an old book that I recently looked into. I had it for a while, but I really dug into it. It's a history book about the Civil War. It's part 2 of like 15 that covers the entirety of the Civil War. It's called A People's History of the American Revolution. Oh, not Civil War, American Revolution, my bad.
I was gonna say
Wow.
that doesn't line up, man.
It's a very
Right.
conflict.
What?
You know,
What's
I
the?
had Civil War on my mind because, clearly you're here. Read out.
Well,
What's the
read-
date on that book, James?
This one is about 1985, and I like it because it's nice, it's fat, and it's got a ton of maps in it, and troop movements and quotations from various letters sent by generals and staff and shit like that.
little love notes that got misplaced along with
There
the
you
military
go.
information.
It's almost like a like we're not gonna miss out on anything, which is why it's like over 400 pages in part 2 of 15.
Readout, I have a question. Churchill, he got to keep all of his correspondence and notes and orders from his time as a military leader in World War II, and he collected that into that 2 million word book about World War II. How is that viewed amongst historians and people in general?
I gotta be honest, I'm not a Second World War historian, so I can't comment on that. I know about him, like being very meticulous about preserving his correspondence, which is actually quite very interesting, considering most historians or most history figures usually just torch everything before they die because they don't want people prying over their private information. Ha! Funny. How funny
Yeah.
how that is.
Yeah, no. Churchill was like Churchill.
I want you to know.
Basically they offered like the queen offered or king offered him a boon. Like if there's something extra, like whatever you want, like you were vital in this war effort. If there is a wish you have and I can grant it, let me grant it. And basically he's like, I want all of my correspondence, even the stuff that was classified during the
And
time
she
of
was
war.
so disappointed because she totally wanted him to want to bang her,
Nothing like a little Churchill in the church.
Anyway.
So
Wrong.
actually, I went to try to find it, but it's buried in the garage. I have a box of books that I collected over the years, but one of the coolest books I've found was actually at a thrift store. It was a direct translation of German generals during World War II from a direct translation from German into English.
Yeah.
That's pretty
of
cool.
all the generals and their information from the Germans' point of view, not the U.S. It was a really cool find.
Roughly
Yeah.
when was it
No.
published? Roughly when was it published?
2011.
From what I could tell, it was late 60s, early 70s when it was translated, but I don't know when the original German version was made.
I'm guessing 1940s.
Well, King Bob says, I think I'm more the World War II expert. The series you're talking about won a Nobel Prize back when it meant something.
Yeah, it was a monster document. He brought in teams of people to put together the notes in ways that made sense and like put together narratives throughout. Like he had teams of people going over like 2 or 3 large like mansion-sized rooms full of this information. Also, what do you guys think of my new painting?
It's
I don't know
very
what-
nice. I saw
I don't
it
know
when
what
it
it's
first
of.
came on. You don't know what it's of. Well, it's very nice, whatever it is.
I don't know if it's from anything, but it was just at my local like nerd store where I get a lot of my signs, and it was on discount, so I got it for like
Lovely.
25, 30.
Isn't there a story about samurai and a kid going around?
A lot. That's the problem.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those.
You know what's a gut-wrenching documentary that I would not expect, but at the same time, given who the director is, not shocked at all.
China.
China. Wait. China. There we go.
China.
Why is it so sexy, dude? China.
So what's the documentary?
Yeah,
China.
No, I'm not going to tell anyone. You know what people will say if they found out I tried to fuck a ready boy and it turned out to be a ready girl?
That's a
Dude,
really
my brain is
documentary.
rotten. Oh, the internet's ruined everything.
Thank you,
Any-
internet.
Anyway, Maji, what was that documentary about? We're dying to know.
So, Peter Jackson did a World War I documentary called "None Shall Grow Old."
They shall
He
not grow
went-
old.
Or "They Shall Not Grow Old." He went and actually got professional film restoration done on old World War I footage of what they had, because 1910 was not exactly the
Yeah.
best footage. But he managed to go through, get them all restored, managed to capture all the old interviews and everything, and put together this beginning of the war to the end of the war through Britain's point of view. It is totally worth seeing at least
It
once.
Is
I'll have to
awesome.
check it out.
It's.
I've
I would probably say it's the best documentary for the Great War. It's
Wow.
not necessarily the most detailed overview. You're not going to get like the complete story of all the battles and the troop movements, but if you want a more intimate idea of what trench warfare was like, particularly for the British military forces, definitely check it out.
What's it called again?
They shall not grow old.
They shall not grow old.
Yeah. If you do actually want to learn about the troop movements and all that, there's actually an amazing YouTube channel called the Great War Channel that I think they've already completed it. But on the 100th year anniversary of the Great War, they started documenting the war 1 week at a time. And as those events would happen, they would release a video and saying, this week during World War, 100 years ago in World War II, this would happen. So they got like season after season of everything that happened during the Great War.
I hate to be tragic, but it kind of boils down to this week, a giant frontal assault was conducted and nothing was gained.
Well, this is
Next
a
week,
Christmas
we're going to
tree.
blow up a mine and try to get through those lines, and nothing will still be gained.
The
Hey.
Russian soldiers have a bear on
What
their
do we
front
do the
line.
week
We
after
don't know
that?
what's going on.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong, but was it World War I or World War II where they blew up like the like ancient Greek mausoleum thing? Like it wasn't the
Oh wow,
fucking
I didn't even hear about that.
the ruins of it today are not destroyed over time from back then. It was destroyed in like World War I or World War II because they put all their fucking gunpowder storage, weapons, and everything.
And then
They
someone
said,
started
"Hey, guys."
smoking a cigarette, I'm guessing.
No. Their whole plan was they put it all there because they think that the people, their home, wouldn't destroy the site. Turns out they were wrong, and the fuckers shot rockets at it.
Don't count on people's good,
that could be either World
good
War,
human
to be
nature
honest.
during war. Just don't.
Well, if they're
It
shooting
doesn't work
rockets, probably two, I would think.
If it's proper rockets. I have to research.
Well, I mean, World War I did introduce tanks.
Yeah.
Weren't they all pretty small though? Like pretty small and like.
Oh, they weren't small.
No,
No,
they had
The
multiple
tanks
people
were
from
armored
different
tractors,
races.
but they didn't move word jack.
big ass motherfucker.
And some guns that would be used in World War II were actually used in World War I, not just handguns. I believe it was the Browning automatic rifle was first introduced in World War I.
The earlier
and then-
versions, yeah.
Yes.
I met a guy who had one.
Anybody remember the episode of the A Team where they turned one of those Leicar models into a mini tank from hell. It was great.
No, I mean, when the tank started, it was, there were heavy tanks. Typically, the iconic lighter tank is the Renault tank. That was initially a French design, which the United States used the design almost one for one, and it became the M1917 tank. So that some of the Allied forces were using more lighter form of tanks, but the German and British tanks were so freaking monstrous.
Very large, in charge.
They were
beautiful
huge.
things.
Yeah, they weren't beautiful. They weren't beautiful. They were just
An episode of A-Team, they took one of these cars, ripped it apart, put a 360-degree swiveling turret on top of it, and they brought it into a freaking battle.
Of course they did.
Well, if we're gonna talk tanks, I gotta tell the story about Dwight Eisenhower during the First World War, not the Second World War, the First World War. So then Captain Eisenhower was given his first military command, and it was to take charge of a tank training center for the United States military. It was called Camp Colt. Do you want to guess where it was located?
Where?
Gettysburg, Pennsylvania.
Yay.
On the freaking Gettysburg battlefield, because it was technically military, it was War Department property at the time, the battlefield. So they're like, it's federal property, use it. We'll put a tank training ground on it. Well,
So how about the aquatic tanks?
You know what's
the
good for
ironclads?
historical sites?
No,
Tanks.
It's better. So, tank training center at Gettysburg. Eisenhower's there, and he's supposed to, this is an experimental idea, having a tank corps. The tanks have just come into existence in warfare. And he gets there, and they're like, oh, yeah, this is the federal government talking. We don't have an actual tank for you to train with. It's like, well, what do you mean?
That is the most U.S. military thing I've ever fucking heard. I have a story.
So
Continue.
for months, Eisenhower is
story
trying to
before
train
yours.
these guys on how to drive a tank without actually having a tank. And finally, the U.S. government graces Camp Colt with one, I repeat, one M1917 tank to train on. And guess what? These cadets were in love with this tank. There's photographs of this single M1917 rolling over the ruins of a barn that was burned by Union forces during the battle, just rolling, eating over this historical property because they're so happy. And to make matters a little more dismal for Eisenhower, but probably the cadets were thankful for, they were never actually deployed over to France during the conflict. So just when they were getting their final training, the war ended. But my God, it's just one of the most fascinating little stories of history.
Here's an interesting one in World War II, a real quick one about the Battle of the Somme to kind of show you the deadliness of it all. There was this kid who was 15 years old who was in the battle. He was in there for 5 minutes before a stray bullet found his shoulder, smacked into him, and he hit the ground. And he was pulled back of the lines into the medical area. And then once he fully recovered, he was sent home. And he, out of his entire company, was the only survivor. Every other man in his company died. And that bullet saved his life.
That's kind of how it went in the Great War anyway. It's like, how much does a mile cost? Like a half mile cost? Like, we lost 50,000 men in the trenches in this 1 mile strip of property. Freaking insane, dude. Or it's like, but no, the army and military not giving them a tank to train with for freaking tank training. So my buddy, when he was he joined the Army Corps, he went over to DC to do some more training. When he got there, they had all these gun drills they needed them to do before going overseas. And they were like, basic military drills, like the 2 different teams. But it's like, well, we're not allowed to use paintball guns because people think we're just paying you guys to play with toys. So we have to use sim rounds. Okay, well, give us the sim rounds. No, we ran out of money. So there are no sim rounds. What you guys have to do is you guys have to pretend you have guns, like pistols and rifles.
This is the paintball gun.
And you guys have to make the sounds of the weapons during the training, so we know when you shoot.
You were playing. You're pretending.
The irony is not lost on me, and it definitely wasn't lost on them. So they started making up their own sounds. They would go pew pew, and then with rifles, they'd say out of budget, out of budget, out of budget, out of budget.
Well, okay, so I grew up military family, and we were stationed in Germany. One of the pastimes was to go out and watch the tank practice out on the base. Oh my gosh!
With earplugs, right?
Oh yeah. Even then, though, the earplugs didn't work. The sight of watching these the news, the
Guilty.
Hey, guilty. Nothing captures the destruction that these things actually have. They don't just crumble walls. They powderize buildings.
Where were you?
They literally turn stuff into big powdered explosions that you can feel through your entire body.
Ooh, Guilty made chili.
Yeah, I love me some chili, but I was cheap. I went with Chinese from the store today.
Maybe 10 at night, but I could still go for some good chili.
Yeah, I'm looking for it.
What?
For chili fries.
Hello? You order Chinese food? Oh, we got our food here. It's cold outside. Oh, you fat fuck. You got egg roll. You got dumplings, spare ribs. You got everything. Everything.
Everything.
As funny as Billy and I were both diving for it at the same time.
Well, you immediately said Chinese food, and I'm like, oh shit,
Yep.
here we go.
Yeah,
every time I bring it up, I forget that you guys have that damn button.
I got
But do you know what I'm kind of surprised I haven't hit yet tonight?
Jewish space lasers.
Now all's right in the world.
Now all is right in the world. Very good. Oh, holy
I think
smokes.
that might be the first time that clip's ever been.
Is this King Bob asked if it's a special chili, like special brownies?
This is Kevin's famous chili. Just put the onions in, let it marinate all night. It's
You know what
probably
occurred
what I
to me?
do best.
We talk a
It'll
lot
put hair
about
in your chest.
the show.
I don't think Maji wants hair on her chest. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
What
No, not really.
Maji was talking about one thing, and then Kahuna.
Yeah,
just
Maji, what did you say before
went
that?
on a whole other time.
I just realized we talk a lot about Transformers on this show.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
We've got like 3 Transformers nerds on this stream, so of course.
Transformers, assemble.
No.
No,
Just
let's
three?
roll out.
Well, at least-
Transformers, Autobots,
How many
roll out.
Transformers fans do we have?
Not bad. If you work on that, you might be able to get a decent voice match.
No, I've gotten it before, but it takes a
His
bit
would
more.
match
Takes
more
a bit of time.
Megatron
Hey.
than
James, can them whatever the fuck the robot replicants, can they eat through shields?
Can they eat through shields? I don't know. I guess it would depend on the shield. No, they probably can't. Well,
Like an energy field, they would probably
they
have
will
a tough time.
eventually get through it. They will eventually
Dude,
get through it.
Energy fields. Sorry.
It'll sustain them for a little while, but yeah, you're not gonna last that long with just a shield.
I forgot what I was talking about.
Food and some Transformers. And speaking of food, I'm cooking fried chicken. I will send you a picture soon, Kahuna. As is
Okay, so what's
As is
worse,
tradition.
replicas or tribbles?
Replicants, like from
The tribbles are worse. Replicants will kill you and it's done. Tribbles will just bit by bit take over your life and drive you insane.
I figured they would suffocate you eventually. Isn't that the kind of idea? They just breed really fast, like rabbits or women at a wine cooler.
Pretty
I
much,
think
yeah.
If the tribbles worse, it'd be like the Klingons. I think they would love the replicant dudes because they get to die honorably in battle.
Also, Billy, I love how you and I both still have our names from freaking the Berserk stream.
Yes. You got to get your 7, then we can schedule for that one.
No, I know.
I also made something very special.
I'm concerned. I was putting together audio from some of the dialogue from the last issue, and I don't know if I'll be able to edit it to a satisfactory degree, but I hope I can.
Are you talking about our otter one that's like 6-7 months late?
No, absolutely not. No, just audio based on the last volume of Berserk.
Oh, you're talking about where we actually said dialogue, like wrote or read it off.
Yeah, no. I'm not taking that. I'm trying to record it on my own using the Audibly app or whatever, Audacity, whatever the hell it's called.
5 minutes.
Well, anyway, we're gonna start wrap up. Maji.
See. Well, what I wanted to shill didn't work out too well. I was gonna shill the I support indie creators from Royce, but I cannot find the Teespring link for some damn reason.
I support indies in spirit.
But yeah, check out IronAge.media. He's another good place to check out. You can get all sorts of short stories, and if you have a short story yourself, you could submit it for his magazine.
Hell yeah.
Alrighty.
Hail to
Otter.
the king. All right. Do you like swords and sorcery? Do you like athletic boobies? I do too.
Athletic tits, get it fucking right.
Well, I am hard at work on book 2 right now, but in the meantime, if you're
He's
curious
hard
about what
at
I
work.
do, exactly.
Steel and Stormbright, The Curse of the Star Wraiths. An exciting sword and sorcery adventure about two brothers trying to make their way in a harsh world. Link in the description.
Outshilled by a button. Holy shit.
Holy shit. Anyways, weird magic, athletic tits, brotherhood. What more could you ask for?
Brotherhood and athletic tits.
Yes.
A weird, just a sentence I never thought I'd hear.
And he's just labeled as Rady Boy.
Oh. And
Read out.
Read out. Tell us about your Rady Boys.
Or you got something else to show, Otter?
No, that's it.
Your downstream pulp?
Yeah. If you want to see my reviews, you can check me out on downstreampulp.substack.com. Been a little bit on a hiatus right now. I actually plan on getting into a review rather soon, hopefully.
Yep, I got one coming for Herman here soon as well, so that's something I'll have to work on. Just
read out.
All right, so if my flesh and bone tries not to betray me again this week, that's why I wasn't on last week. I was sick, and I've been sick all last week. I've yet to fully recover, but I am tired of being sick, so I'm just gonna truck on through. Busy week here at Readout Productions. Tomorrow we will be concluding our discussion of the Overland campaign of the American Civil War with the Battle of Cold Harbor, what Ulysses S. Grant claimed was his greatest regret in his military career. So we'll be talking about that tomorrow live on a special Uncut History, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's going to be a special start time in the evening. Then Thursday, we will have our regular Uncut History, which we will be talking about some historic sites tied to D-Day, which this Thursday will in fact be the 80th anniversary of the landings on the Normandy beaches. This Saturday, we will have a new episode of Retracing History out, and there may be something else coming to the FUBAR Digital Lounge this week if I have enough time to edit it. But in any case, we have rebranded the Heterochromedia podcast as the FUBAR Digital Lounge. So hopefully
I was
later
going to
this
ask
summer,
you about that. I'm like, why does it look different?
Yep, I rebranded to try to give it a slightly easier name to say, to maybe a little more easier on the tongue. Maybe you'll get the word to spread quicker. So, if you want to go check out my pop culture channel and listen to me poorly ramble about the highly anticipated summer blockbuster season coming up, you can listen to me react to some trailers at the FUBAR Digital Lounge. All right, I'm going to go back to coffee.
Do it.
Christian.
You can find me at
The Ultimate Kahuna on YouTube and on Twitter.
I released a video recently discussing the methodology and the mentality of buying books at the Goodwill, as well as showing off some of my recent finds. And then I recently hosted the discussion about Deluxe Volume 7 of Berserk. And that discussion went on for well over 3 hours. It was impressive, man.
6, not 7.
6? F it.
Yes.
We're going to be doing 7. You guys know.
Yes. 7 is coming up.
It's about
enthusiasm. It's not really about being correct there, Billy.
But yeah,
all you need in the world is Nina. Just remember that. Because I'm definitely not wrong about Nina.
I'm gonna quote Fate with this one.
Just because you're wrong doesn't mean you're incorrect. Wait.
I love bad Japanese translations.
James.
Hello, everybody. James Esparza, writer and operator of World Without End and ever-increasing lore that is super duper awesome, which you need to get into. And to find all my super duper awesome stuff to check out, that's going to be on my Substack at worldwithoutendlore.substack.com. And tomorrow on my YouTube channel, World Without End Lore YouTube channel, you can actually check out this awesome writers inspiration panel we got going on called Terran Tuesdays with me, the Black Knight, and RH Snow every single Tuesday. Hit us up on that. We'll be there. But what you see in front of you is our page. Today, actually, I released for our free subscribers our latest faction introduction there. You can go ahead and check that out. It's got cards, it's got lore, it's got magazine spreads. And I spent some time on all of this to make it look nice and fancy and super cool for you to check out. This was a previous one, but it's still pretty cool. There's plenty there for people to read up on if you love your lore. Can you scroll down, check out the pages, what those are going to look like? This is what you're going to get: full-blown pages of lore and a lovely magazine spread with a with an army card, a land card, and a hero card. So that way, it's kind of almost like building up towards an RPG-esque lore thing, but this primarily to hold off the readers while I work on the stories in the background. So that's what I got going on. You can expect one of those every month.
Nice.
Hell yeah, boy.
Frederick.
So imakecomics.com is the website. It'll give you an update on the comic Rattel that I'm working on. And I'll also be doing a draw stream tomorrow with you here, Billy Bob, as a co-host. So if you want to check it out, continue watching the ink on this page. Be there tomorrow at 8.
Oh, I got the perfect clip. I gotta find it. This is what Frederick a lot.
Oh, you guys made me eat.
I knew exactly what clip you were going to play.
Yes.
Billy, show your shit.
Exactly.
You can find me on Only Gremlins on Substack.com. Also, doing the stream with Frederick tomorrow, and then the 9th, we're doing the Summer Shit Fest, and I'm getting a group of people, and we're watching that. I don't know what time that show is. Gotta look it up.
There will be a stream someday. I don't know when, but look forward to it.
Yeah. And then the 15th at 7 p.m. Central, we'll be doing Art Chill Stream number 3 with Frederick, Otter, King Kage.
Kage, yeah.
Animated
he's an artist.
And Umbrella Cat.
Yeah, that should be fun. That should be fun.
All right, check out my books. They are on Amazon. In fact, you could probably find it through Walmart, whatever. When I put them on Ingram Spark, they kind of filtered out to a whole bunch of places. But Haley Star, Bad Kitty, and Bad Kitty, Haley's World. Also, if you're a fan of the full spoiler coverage videos I've been doing for the comic books, I've got coming up probably in the next month. It's going to take me a little bit to wrap all this up. A 4-part full spoiler coverage coming up. Look for the first video in that to drop sometime in the next 3 or 4 weeks. All right. Anything else? Anybody else wanted to get in?
Oh, yeah. Tomorrow we have our next episode of the Iron Seas podcast, hosted by AC Pritchard, Evely Music, and Bat Sauce.
And whose channel is this on this time? Because this is floating between different channels, right?
Yeah, three. This is going to be on Bat Sauce's channel. So, yep, that'll be at...
You know what? We need to... I need to subscribe to his channel, and we need a link in the chat for everybody, because if I just type in Bat Sauce into the YouTube search, he should pop right up.
Usually, yeah. It's a
Bat Sauce topic.
Let me see. I'll just see if I can find it real quick.
I'm afraid to look up that and sauce.
That's usually how you find it.
I didn't shower for like 3 days, and I wear a rubber suit.
Love that clip.
I think it's 2 T's, BATT sauce.
Sauce with it.
He is 1 subscriber away from 200 right now.
There you go.
That's him.
That's him. Boom.
That's
Like
him.
He's
Yeah.
got 200. Anyway, let me snag this link and drop it in the chat.
On the last movie poll, I didn't even have to advertise mine. It just won by virtue of being a Clint Eastwood Western.
So what is the movie poll this week?
It's already over. On the next one is going to be cop movies. And so we're looking at like Judge Dredd. I'm probably going to pick Lethal Weapon, one of the Lethal Weapon movies. And yeah, it's going to
I love Lethal Weapon movies.
Well, you
Hold
gotta
up,
have
you're not even including RoboCop?
No, somebody else is doing RoboCop. I don't really love RoboCop. It's a good movie. That's
What?
it.
How dare
What
you?
about Die Hard? It's a cop movie.
Oh, the gay otter's upset. I don't like RoboCop. Ooh.
It's not like RoboCop is a kick-ass movie or anything.
It's a good movie, but it's not. I don't love it, man. It's just for me. It's just fine.
Wasn't the main character in Fifth Element a cop? Technically.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it a
He
cop.
was a cab driver. He was ex. I think he was ex-military, and working as a cab current day in the movie. You said Fifth Element, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about the buddy cop movie starring Rob Schneider and Jean-Claude Van Damme? How about that one?
I didn't even know that
Oh,
existed.
Knockoff.
It's not called The Animal, is it?
It's called Knockoff.
Oh no!
I was gonna say I don't know if I've seen that one. I've heard.
I have heard of that. Yeah, I didn't know what it was about though.
Yeah. It's not really a buddy cop movie. Only one of them was a cop. But it's
I mean,
got Rob Schneider and Jean-Claude Van Damme. So how the hell are you
That's
gonna
such a
miss that?
weird combination.
Wait, you're not going to pick Blade Runner either?
Is it a cop
Yes, he's a-
movie?
He's a cop.
I like Blade Runner, but frankly, I don't really feel like watching it. So
How about
Yeah.
Donnie Brasco?
how about Loaded
Bad Boys.
Weapon? That's a buddy cop movie.
You gotta have
That's right. It's Officer Sheriff T.J. Hooker.
Yeah, I guess it just shows how much everybody has an opinion on their favorite cop movies or least favorite.
I know, like everybody's like, it's like some of the movies people have brought up. I'm like, I don't know if that counts. Having a cop does not make a cop movie. You know what I'm saying? It's like, or you could play
Bruce
like
Willis?
a modern one that's shit, like End of Watch.
Is
Like, just
Well,
like
there could be like
depressing.
SWAT where there is no real plot. It's just a bunch of mindless shooting.
SWAT, yeah. What do you think of Assault on Precinct 13? Is that a cop movie?
I mean, technically, yeah. It's just not a movie I like.
Either of them. There's two of them.
Fuck, there's 2 of them? Why?
Yeah.
How about Time Cop?
That's
Oh,
an
jeez.
interesting. It's terrible, but yeah. That chick walks around with no bra on.
How is that terrible?
Remember that scene?
He's like, oh, it's awful. She didn't have a bra. Oh yeah, really terrible. I don't know how I'll make
Oh
it.
no, I was just talking about the few pluses it had.
Just 2.
The 2 pluses they had.
Yeah, late 80s, early 90s. There's something in the water, man. Women just said, you know what? I don't need a bra today.
I mean, it's a good set of pluses.
Wasn't that supposed to be some sort of like feminist, strong woman moment or something?
They're like, we'll show all the men. It's like, you are showing us everything.
Just okay. Jesus Christ. Hey, Frederick, didn't you post a bunch of Hayek quotes earlier?
Oh yeah, that was funny, dude.
Yeah, so that's one of my favorite memes. So there's this economist called F.A. Hayek, right? And people have this making fun of the Hayek's last name. And it's always more interesting to look at Salma than the old, white dude.
They'll post like the most thirsty pic of Salma Hayek, but with the economist like Hayek's like quote, and it's
With
just
the
it's
most
just funny.
based economist quotes, like if you're a socialist and you understand economics, then you're not a socialist or something like that.
Oh, stuff like it's so like when the first time I saw that meme, I was like, that's very based. I didn't think she would. I didn't know she was that based. And then like I keep on seeing the meme, I'm like, this isn't real. Okay. Like,
like
this
those-
just yeah.
This is
isn't
like those
right.
Abraham Lincoln quotes I keep seeing.
He's like, get good, yo.
All right. Well, we are about to wrap this up. So thank you, everyone, so much for watching, for joining us, and for being part of the show, part of the chat, part of the ship, part of the crew, part of the ship, part of the crew.
Part of the ship, part of the
It do be
crew.
that way sometimes.
Yeah. If you enjoyed this presentation, hit the like, and if you didn't, appreciate you stopping by. See you next time, and God bless.
Yeah.
Au revoir.
Bye.